Good morning, children.
Good morning.
You didn't have your breakfast, children? Good morning.
Good morning.
We completed connective tissues in the previous class, and now we are going to start with the third tissue, that is muscular tissue. Before I proceed, which are the different types of connective tissues that we had learned? What are the three broader classifications? Shreya, how can you broadly classify connective tissues? Tom?
Loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue.
Specialized connective tissue. Which are the three special connective tissues? Sarah? Three special connective tissues.
Cartilage, bone, and
Cartilage, bone.
blood.
What is the difference between tendons and ligaments? Anila, difference between tendons and ligaments. Then revise. Devika?
Ma'am, tendons are skeletal muscles to the bone attachment, and ligaments are bone to bone.
Ligaments will connect two bones or connect one bone to another, and tendons will connect muscle to
bone.
skeletal muscle to bones. Okay, so we are going to learn about muscular tissue now. In class 9, you had learned about three broad classifications of our muscular tissue. How are they classified? Anybody is remembering? With pictures and all we had learned. Lakshmi, are you remembering the three types of muscular tissues? Not remember, not even one. In your heart, which muscle is present? Yes, Hasif?
Voluntary.
Voluntary and involuntary. Voluntary means which you can move according to our, that you can say is a property of it. But other than that, any other name? Voluntary muscles can be controlled according to a will, and involuntary you cannot control as per our will. But there are some specific names. Nobody is remembering.
Cardiac muscle.
Yes, cardiac muscles. What else?
Smooth muscles.
Smooth muscle.
muscle.
Skeletal muscle. So these are the three types of muscle. So before we learn about the classification of muscles, muscles are found in bundles. So muscle or this particular tissue, they are found in bundles. Muscular bundles are there. And each muscular bundle is made up of muscle fibers. And each muscle fiber further consists of several myofibrils. Once again, I will repeat. So let me begin. Each muscle is made up of muscle fibers. And muscles are actually seen in bundles. So muscles will be seen. You will be learning about the muscular tissue in detail under the chapter locomotion and movement. So muscles are actually found in bundles. We call it as muscular bundles. And within each muscular bundle or within each bundle you can find so many muscle fibers. And each muscle fiber is further made up of numerous myofibrils. Clear? Your muscles are found in bundles and each bundle is made up of muscle fibers. Muscle fibers are further made up of numerous filaments or numerous subunits known as myofibrils. And you know that these muscles or all the muscles are capable of contracting and relaxing, and that is how they bring about movement. And we are able to move, or locomotion is brought about by the movement of muscles along with the bones. So bones or muscles attached to the bones, they will contract and relax, bringing about movement. And when muscles contract, they shorten, and when they relax, they increases their length. And as I told you already, these muscles take part in locomotion and movement of our body. Once again, Muscles are found in bundles and each bundle consists of muscle fibers. Each muscle fiber is further made up of several myofilaments or myofibrils, and they play an important role in locomotion and movement, and they are capable of contracting and relaxing. So when they contract, they will reduce its size, and when they relax, their length will increase. And skeletal muscles attached to the bones will bring about locomotion. You can classify them into three major types. Skeletal muscle, as the name suggests, attached to the skeleton, attached to the limb bones. Smooth muscle, and finally cardiac muscle. So these are the three types of muscular tissues found in human body or found in the body of living organisms. Smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, and skeletal muscle. They have several other names also. Skeletal muscle, you can call it as striped muscle, striated muscle. Skeletal muscle is also known as striated or striped. Stripes, you say, no, that dress is striped, or stripes are there on that fabric. So stripes are there or striations are there. So you call it as striated muscle or striped muscle also. Then smooth muscle, unstriated muscle we say. Another name is unstriated. Then there is cardiac muscle. And cardiac muscle and smooth muscle are involuntary. As Hasif mentioned earlier, both of them are, just a minute, both of them are involuntary, whereas skeletal muscle is voluntary. So the three types of muscles are, once again, skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. And I told you it's known by different other names also. Skeletal muscle, you can even call it as striated or striped muscle. And these are voluntary. You can control them according to a will. Whereas smooth muscle is unstriated. And cardiac muscle and smooth muscle, both of them are involuntary. You cannot control them according to a wish. These two are involuntary. So we'll be learning about each of these muscles. Starting with the first one here, much information is not given. I think in 9th standard, they had given more structural details. They are attached to skeletal bones. For example, biceps, triceps. So these are the bones in our arm. So these are attached to skeletal bones, both the leg as well as the arm. The bones present in both the limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs. So that is why the name skeletal bones, because they are attached to the, skeletal muscle, because they are attached to the skeletal bones. Example, biceps, triceps, striations are present. So as you can see in the figure, alternate light and dark bands can be seen. So here you can find dark, light, dark, light. So there is a pattern. That is why you call it as a striated muscle. Alternate light and dark bands can be seen, and hence we call it as striped muscle or striated muscle. They are bundled together. As you can see in the picture, they are arranged, or they are forming a bundle in a parallel fashion, or they are parallelly arranged to form bundles. A sheath of tough connective tissue encloses several bundles of muscle fibers. So that is common for all the muscle fibers. So all the muscle fibers will be enclosed by several bundles. So several such bundles will be enclosed by a sheath of connective tissue. So more points we will see. They have given only a few points. One is they are attached to the skeletal bones. Then alternate light and dark bands can be seen. BA and BS. Alternate light and dark bands can be seen, and hence we call it a striated muscle. And several muscles several muscle fibers are bundled together, as you can see, in a parallel fashion, or they're parallelly arranged to form bundles, and then several such muscle bundles are covered by a sheath of connective tissue. Then other structural features I'll tell you, they are multinucleated. They are multinucleated. You can see more than one nuclei, more than one nucleus present. Then they are cylindrical. They are not tapering at the ends. They are cylindrical. Then what else? They are unbranched. They are unbranched, multinucleated, cylindrical. These are some more points about skeletal muscle. Once again, they are attached to skeletal bones. They are cylindrical, unbranched, multinucleated, arranged together or arranged parallelly to form bundles. Alternate light and dark bands are there. That is why you call them as striated muscle. And a tough sheath of connective tissue encloses several bundles of muscles. It's a common feature of muscle fiber. Next is about smooth muscles. They don't have any striations here. No striations are found, and that is why they are known as smooth muscles. No bands or no striations are seen, and they are involuntary. You cannot control them. Like skeletal muscles, I told, see, that is why, since we are able to control it according to will, suppose if I want to hold something, I can hold. If I want to walk, I can walk, because it's under our control. If I want to write, I can. Or if I want to take some movements with my arms and legs, it is under my will. I can decide what is to be done. But in case of smooth muscle, they are found in the internal organs. You cannot control them according to will. And these are fusiform. Fusiform means, as you can see in the picture, they'll be tapering at both ends, pointed at both ends. Just a minute. See, when it is pointed at both ends are pointed. Then you call it as fusiform or spindle shaped. No striations, just like in the case of skeletal muscle. Here you cannot find any striations. Cell junctions hold them together, and they are also bundled together in a connective tissue sheath. So there is a connective tissue sheath covering the muscle bundles, and they are kept together. They are held together with the help of cellular junctions. And you can see them in the walls of internal organs, like some of the examples. You can find smooth muscles in many other organs too. So some examples are the walls of blood vessels, stomach and intestine. In the walls of stomach, blood vessels and intestine, you can find these muscles. Then these are uninucleated, only one nucleus. Then pointed ends, that is already mentioned. These are also unbranched. Once again, they are involuntary. Fusiform means tapering at both ends. Striations are absent. Then they are uninucleated, unbranched, and you can see them in the walls of blood vessels, stomach and intestine, and cell junctions will be holding them together. And as we said in the case of skeletal muscle, here also a tough sheath of connective tissue encloses bundles of muscle fibers. Now moving on to the last one. Cardiac muscle. These are also involuntary. You can find these muscles only in the heart. Here also cell junctions will fuse the plasma membranes of the cells. And as you can see in the picture, different cells are sticking together because the cell junctions between the cells will fuse the plasma membrane, so that these will be sticking together as seen in the picture, and they have intercalated disc. It is same as our gap junction or communication junctions, and these junctions will allow them to contract as a single unit. So when a single cell, so when a cardiac muscular cell is receiving a signal. You know that all the movements are under the control of a nervous system. So when they receive a signal to contract the neighboring cell, so that signal will be sent to all the other cells and they contract as a single unit. And here you can see faint striations. Faint striations can be seen. They are also uninucleated. Only our skeletal muscle is multinucleated, and you might feel that it is multinucleated, but different cells are fused together. The junctions between the cells are fusing together. That is why you feel it is actually, these are different cells fused together. They are actually uninucleated. Then faint striations are there and they are branched. They are branched. Faint striations are present. Uninucleated. Involuntary, found only in the heart. And you know that these cardiac muscles has got a unique feature. They keep on working without any fatigue till our death. So they will not, they won't get tired. They keep on working. You know what will happen if cardiac muscle decides to take rest for some time. You know what is going to happen. So it never takes rest. It keeps on working till our death. Involuntary muscles seen only in the heart, and there are faint striations, uninucleated, they are branched, and the cell junctions will fuse the plasma membrane, and you can see the adjacent cells sticking together. They have specialized gap junctions or communication junctions, which you call as intercalated disc. And what is the function of intercalated disc? They will allow them to act as or function as a single unit. When a particular cell is receiving signal to contract, this signal will be spread to or will be sent to all the other neighboring cells, and they will contract or they will function as a single unit. Okay, so that was about the different muscles. So we'll repeat all the points once again. The three types of muscles. We started with, just a minute. Each muscle is made up of muscle fibers, and I told you that there are several muscular bundles, or muscular tissue consists of several muscular bundles, and in each muscular bundle you can find several muscle fibers. And each muscle fiber is made up of numerous units, smaller units known as myofibrils. And they can contract and relax to bring about movement. They bring about movement of different parts of the body and also locomotion, moving from one place to another. All these are brought about with the help of muscular tissue. Muscles together with bones will help in bringing about movement. And then we learned about the classification of muscular tissue: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. And we started with the first one, skeletal muscle. They are called so because they are attached to the skeletal bones. They play an important role in bringing about movement. You can see alternate light and dark bands. They are multinucleated, unbranched, cylindrical. And many such fibers, muscular fibers, are bundled together parallelly, and there is a tough sheath of connective tissue covering the muscle bundles. After that, we learned about smooth muscle, no striations. They are having a fusiform shape, that is tapering at both ends. They are involuntary, no striations, uninucleated, cell junctions. Cell junctions keep them together, and they are bundled together in a connective tissue sheath, and you can see them in the inner walls of small intestine, stomach, and also blood vessels. Then finally, we learned about cardiac muscle, found only in the heart. They are capable of working, or they work continuously without taking any rest. Throughout our life, till we die, they keep on working, found only in the heart, and they can contract and relax. Cell junctions will fuse the plasma membranes of the neighboring cells or adjacent cells, and these will be sticking together, and they have intercalated disc. These are the communication junctions found in cardiac muscles, and the advantage is that they will help the cells, all the cells to contract or function as a single unit. When a single cell is receiving signal, this will be sent to all the other neighboring cells and they all will contract. So when a single cell is receiving message or signal to contract, the same signal will be sent to the neighboring cells and they all will contract as a single unit. So that was about the different types of muscular tissues. Let us quickly recap the same. Devi, what are the features or what are the characteristic features of muscular tissues in general that we learned?
They are
Your house is near to the road? Okay.
Ma'am, can you repeat?
What did we learn?
Muscular tissues are classified into 3: skeletal,
Before that, general features. About the structure.
Ma'am, I don't remember.
Muscular tissue, they are in bundles or they form different muscular bundles, and each muscular bundle consists of what is there in each bundle?
Numerous fine micro.
Analysts, I'll come back to you. Start. Why such a puzzled look?
Muscle.
Huh.
I was writing, ma'am.
Tell me.
A question.
In each muscle bundle, what can you find?
Muscle fibers.
And each muscle fiber is made up of?
Numerous fine myofibrils.
Myofibrils. And then what is the function of the muscular tissue mainly? What is its function?
They can contract and relax.
What for? Why they are contracting and relaxing? To bring about what?
To get shorten and
They'll shorten and they will lengthen. What for it is done? Why our muscles are contracting? Just for a time pass?
to take motion
To bring about what?
locomotion and
Locomotion and also movement of different parts of our body. Ardra, which are the 3 types of muscle tissues?
Skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle.
Okay. And Irene, tell me the points about your audio is okay? You thought it is safe not to repair it, no? Next class, don't come up with the excuse. It's a problem with the system or your headset? You're not using any headset. Yes. The problem is with what, Irene? The video also gone. It's stuck. Okay. Abdul Hasif.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about skeletal muscle.
Skeletal muscle is striated, strides. It has strides, and it is voluntary.
Why it got the name skeletal muscle?
It is near the skeletal bones.
Then. Other features which I said, what about the nucleus, the shape?
Cylindrical shape.
Cylindrical shape, then they are multi-nucleated. Emmeline, what else we learned about skeletal muscles?
They are in bundle form and they have a sheet, a tough sheet of connective tissue.
Okay. They are?
Cylindrical in shape.
Okay. Okay, enough. Smooth muscle fibers, Aditya Dev. Why the videos are off, children? Aditya Dev.
My net is not stable.
Abhinav, already he said the reason. Malavika? Malavika Vibin. Anjana Sunil. Atulya and Anjana connectivity very poor, I think. Alina Varghese. Samya.
Yes, ma'am.
Buddha, tell me the answer. Were you there near to the system or you had gone somewhere?
No, I was.
Don't tell me lie. You went to the kitchen just now, no?
No, I did not go.
Okay. Yes, then
They are involuntary and
which muscle? Which type of
Smooth
muscle?
Smooth muscle.
Smooth muscle, they are involuntary. What is meant by involuntary?
Involuntary means they cannot move according to their own desire.
Our
Movement
will.
cannot be
Okay,
directly
then.
controlled.
Then.
Cell junctions hold them together.
Yes, they are?
Cell junctions hold them together.
Okay. Then another point, Anashwara.
They don't have striations.
No striations. Then what about its shape? Anashwara, what is the speciality of its shape? Spindle shape, a fusiform, tapering at both the ends. Then cardiac muscle. Mary Angelina.
Yes, ma'am. Involuntary.
Then
Then
where are they found? Where are they found? Cardiac muscles.
ma'am, they are found in her.
They are found or they are seen only in the heart. Then only that.
Ma'am, then
About the structure, you say.
there's. I don't know.
Relevant in between. Devi, I told you I will be coming back to you. Yes.
Cell junctions fuse the plasma. Plasma
Don't read. Cell junctions will fuse the plasma membrane.
make them stick together.
Okay. Next point. What are intercalated disc, Devi? And what is its function?
Their communication junctions.
What is its function? They will help them to
Receive signal.
and receiving signals that is not needed. It will help them to contract as a single unit. When a particular cell is receiving signal, this will be spread to or this will be sent to the other neighboring cells also and they will contract as a single unit. Okay. So we'll continue with the next tissue, that is nervous tissue. And I'm repeating again, if the videos are off, I will not give attendance. Not when I'm taking attendance. I know that when I'm about to take attendance, all the videos will be on. I have not written the names. Neural tissue. Neural tissue is very important for control and coordination. You know that which are the two systems bringing about control and coordination in our body, children? Two systems. Class 10, you had learned.
Neurons.
Nervous system and system I asked. Nervous system and one more system. Anybody can answer?
Endocrine system.
Yes, very good. Endocrine system and nervous system. These are the two systems which help in bringing about control and coordination of the different parts of a body. So neural tissue is very important to bring about control and coordination. Neurons. These are units of neural system or nervous system. Structure of a nerve cell, they have not explained here. You will be learning about that in neural control and coordination chapter. But you know the different parts of a nerve cell. Which are the different parts of a nerve cell? Which is the longest part of the nerve cell?
Axon.
Axon. And smaller branches arising from the cell body? What do you call it? Dendrons will further branch to form dendrites. Okay. So details of the structure they have not given. You will be learning it in detail in the chapter neural control and coordination. So neurons are the units of nervous system, and these are excitable. So they get excited upon receiving a signal, and that will get transmitted to the next nerve cell or next neuron. And these are protected and supported by neuroglial cells. Actually, the nervous tissue or the neural tissue is made up of neurons and neuroglial cells. Neurons plus neuroglial cells. Together they constitute the neural tissue, or neural tissue is made up of neurons and neuroglial cells. And the function of neuroglial cells is to protect and support the neurons. Neuroglia makes up half of the volume of neural tissue. So 50% of the nervous tissue is made up of neuroglia, which protect and support neurons. When a neuron is stimulated, when it receives a signal, impulse or that electrical disturbance, transmission of electrical impulse and all, we will be learning in the chapter neural control and coordination. So when a nerve cell is stimulated, an electrical impulse will be generated. This will travel along its plasma membrane, and then what happens? Children, after that what happens? You know that the dendrite will be receiving the nerve signals. In class 10 you had learned dendron or dendrite. Dendrite are the smaller branches. They will receive, see, it will be receiving the signals. So this dendrite will receive signals, and then the signals will reach the axon. Axon will take it to, what do you call the tip of the axon? Nerve endings are there. Okay, it will take it to the nerve endings. And once it reaches the nerve, what is a synapse, children? What is meant by a synapse?
Between two.
The functional junction between two neurons. Dendrites will receive the signal. It will pass through the cell body, then reaches the axon. Axon will take it away from the cell body, and then what happens? It will cross the synapse. It will reach the nerve endings, and the junction between two neurons, you can call it as a synapse. It will cross the synapse with the help of neurotransmitters you had learned in class 10. And then again, the impulse will be passed on to the next nerve cell. The dendrite of the next cell receives it, and this process will get completed. And once it reaches the nerve ending, it will be transmitted to the next cell. And this is the way they are. A nerve signal is getting transmitted along the neurons. Dendrite will receive it, then it will be reaching the axon, and from the axon or the axon will take it away from the cell body, and when it reaches the nerve endings, it will cross the synapse and start the signal or the electrical impulse in the next neuron. And this is how the signals are transmitted. When a neuron is stimulated, an electrical impulse will be generated, which will travel along the plasma membrane. And once it reaches the nerve endings, this will be transmitted to the next neuron or next nerve cell. Okay, children, once again, neural tissue is made up of neuroglial cells and neurons. And neuroglial tissue or neuroglial cells will protect and support neurons. 50% or half of the volume of neural tissue is made up of neuroglial cells. And a structure of a nerve cell you had learned earlier. It has got cell body and arising from the, here you can see the picture of a single nerve cell. It has got a cell body, nucleus, then cytoplasm is present, and you can see numerous branches arising from it. You call it as dendrons. Dendrons, these are dendrons, and dendrons will further branch into dendrites, and there is an unbranched, a long part of the nerve cell which you call as axon. An axon will end in nerve endings, and the junction between two neurons, you call it as synapse. And these are, or the neural tissue is very important to bring about control and coordination. Neurons are the units of neural system, and they are excitable, means they get excited, and an impulse will be generated which will get transmitted along the neuron until it reaches the nerve endings, and once it reaches the nerve ending, it will cross the synapse and the impulse will be transmitted to the next nerve cell. Okay, children, is that clear? More about neurons, transmission of impulses and all you will be learning this year in animal physiology. Under animal physiology, one of the chapter, that is neural control and coordination, you will be learning in detail how the impulse is generated, different types of neuron, parts of neuron, all that you will be learning. So with this, we have completed the chapter. This you know, a group of tissues performing a common function, you call it as an organ. A group of organs will together form an organ system, and this hierarchy or this pattern will help in better coordinated cellular activities. Each organ is made up of one or more types of tissues. For example, heart consists of epithelial, connective, muscular and neural tissues. So a group of tissues performing a common function or working together to bring about a common function is known as an organ. Several organs constitute an organ systems, and you know that there is a division of labor. The duty is divided, whether it is cell or tissue, organ or organ systems, and this pattern or this hierarchy will provide better coordinated cellular activities. Then each organ, as I told you already, it is made up of one or more tissues. For example, heart consists of different, all the 4 types of tissues are found in heart: epithelial, connective, muscular and neural tissues. Okay, so with that, we have completed the chapter structural organization in animals, and from this chapter you need to learn only about animal tissues, very small chapter. And next we have 2 more chapters to complete for the first term. One is biomolecules and the other one is cell, the unit of life. From cell, no topics are deleted, and biomolecules you will be learning in chemistry. This year or next year? This year are you learning biomolecules in chemistry? No, not sure. Okay, I think next year. So that also some topics are deleted, and next we'll be starting with the chapter cell, the unit of life. Next period, after the test paper, you will have test paper next period. So be ready. And paper, pen, everything, keep it ready and prepare well. I hope you had already prepared well, and don't be absent next period. I'll take the attendance, marks will be entered. So please see that you're not absent, you're not missing the class. If some genuine reasons are there, please message me. Some of them had requested me to take it second period because they will not be there in the first period. So some are very interested to write the test. Okay, children, so we'll see next period. I hope you have no doubts. If you have some doubts, I'll clear it next period regarding this chapter. If not, we'll start with the new chapter, that is cell, the unit of life. So shall we wind up? Thank you, children. Come prepared for the test next period.